Beautiful day. But it's the beginning of a special weekend. Very special. Or it should be. For each and every American that is alive right now. Because this is the Friday, May the 27th, 2022. Yep, Friday afternoon that will begin for many the Memorial Day weekend. And I think it's real important that we remember what it's about. Yep. It's about those who gave everything they had. They gave their lives so we may be free. They served during perilous times, far more perilous than we're seeing at this time. All throughout our nation's history, men, women, and many times even children have stood the line and gave their very lives so we may be free. But sadly, in these modern day times, for many, far too many, this weekend is more about barbecues and the unofficial start of summer. Yeah. And that's why, for many years now, I've sort of made it something I do, is to remind my family and my friends just what it's really about. It's about the cost of freedom. And it's a high one. It's not just about a flag hanging on a pole with a big light shining on it. It's not about barbecues, get-togethers, politicians talking, beer drinking, having a good time up on the lake or at the beach. No. It should be a time of getting together. A time of remembrance. And a time of deep respect. In my mind, this is how I see Memorial Day. To honor those, as I have said, that have gave it all for our freedoms. And there are many of those that gave their all right here. Not in this, only in this cemetery, but in many more all across our nation. They were fathers, they were sons, they were daughters. They were mothers. Some were grandmothers and grandfathers. They were cousins and uncles, brothers and sisters. It spans our entire nation's history. And if you can, and if you're of mind, maybe you could visit a cemetery. They're beautiful. For the most part, They're full of reminders of what has been and how we got there. Bursell L. Carlisle, PFC, 464 Base Unit, Army Air Force, World War II. He was born on September 11th, 1924, and he would die on September the 26th, 1954. I'm not sure who Bursell was, but I know he was part of the Carlisle family. And I wonder if someone will visit him over the weekend or Monday. Many will come here and pay their respects. Now you may wonder why I laid a penny upon his headstone. Well, that's a tradition that goes back, some say even, to Roman times. But it's been a tradition, and you'll see it. It's especially predominant in military cemeteries. You'll see it sometimes over here as well. From time to time, you'll see coins on headstones. And here we are at David Hutchinson's grave. Corporal. Oh, Company 167 Infantry, World War I. Born November the 28th, 1891. He died February 25th, 1954. Now some of you may think, by placing that penny, well, how cheap can you be, Mr. Tom? You know, at least place a quarter, 50-cent piece, or a silver dollar. It's not about that. There's a meaning to the coins placed upon the graves of past soldiers. Each has its own meaning. And I wrote it down, even though I know it. But placing a penny means you visited, and anybody can do it. If you see a nickel on the headstone of a soldier, it means the person that was there trained with the deceased at boot camp. They were together. If you see a dime, it means the person and the deceased veteran served together in some capacity. A quarter is very significant because it means that you were there when that veteran died. It's not about the denomination. It's a sign of respect. A soldier's sign to another soldier. You got to understand that for most of those who've served throughout the military in the United States of America, they weren't making piles of money. The average Joes and Janes, many times just enough to barely keep their families going. I know. I grew up during a time when military pay was far below that of the civilian equivalent. I watched my mom and daddy struggle. I know what we went through. The placing of the coins It's an inexpensive show of respect, honor to the one that went before us. To those who knew him or her, to those that loved him. But within this cemetery, like all cemeteries in America, there are many more such graves. And what I've seen since I've lived beside the cemetery for what now will be soon to be 28 years. Those who come to visit on special days, such as Memorial Day, become less and less as time goes by. It gets back to that one word I always keep bringing up. Yep. If you could define the fall of a nation in just one word, that word would be the loss of respect. And just like now, and throughout this coming weekend, and come Monday, Memorial Day itself, the few that fought for our freedom and held the line will be visited by far fewer that remember their sacrifice. I remember it all too well for all too many, not only in my family, but my friends as well, my associates and co-workers. You got no more to give than when you give your very life itself. That's it, folks. And it don't matter how rich or how poor you are. That's the ultimate price to pay for freedom. There was a time, though, in this country when over the course of this Memorial Day weekend, there would be parades honoring those who fell in battle, who fell later because of wounds, disabilities, and such. You don't see that much anymore. There'll be some parades. I know here in this little small town where I live, there were parades once upon a time. There are pictures of them. I don't think there's a parade anymore. And Monday, I'll do what I can to show my respect for all my little piece of ground. There'll be no barbecue, no party, no self-indulgence. There will be thought and reflection of those I've known personally and those in my family that paid the price I speak of. One that I didn't have to because of them. And as many of you know, both of my children came very close to paying the ultimate price as well. But by the grace of God, they were saved. And for that, I'll be forever thankful. I can't change the world back to what it was. Because if I could, I'd snap my fingers and we'd go back in time to a time when right now this afternoon the flags would wave from the porches from every government building. They would line our streets to remind us of a solemn day. Yeah, there'd be picnics and there'd be speeches, but they wouldn't be about who was running for office. They'd be about the men and women that came before us. I miss those days. I think the country misses them. Many don't care. I know there'll be some that watch this video and they don't understand. Old people just want to go back to the way it was. They fight change. They resist it. Well, you know, change is like a double-edged sword. It can be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. It is what you make it. And the change we've seen in this country didn't come overnight. And you can blame the government. You can blame the people supposedly up in Davos, some secret new world order, the Masons or whatever. But I'm here to tell you, the people to blame are every last one of us that let it happen. Me included. Well, we're back on the front porch after our little walk over there in our cemetery. We visited a few graves, a couple I showed you. Now, I don't know many of those who lay in rest on this particular cemetery. I have no close friends or family, but the rest there yet. Now, I'm hoping that'll remain that way quite some time. I'd have to travel quite a while to visit those of my family that have fallen in service to this country. And that's just not going to happen this year. That doesn't mean I still can't remember them in my mind and in my heart. And as you partake in your Memorial Day weekend, Memorial Day itself come this Monday, I hope you too will remember those of your friends, your family, and all those that paid the price for our freedom. Until I, the Kitty Crew, you know, Spooky, Speedy, Cleo, Mr. Gray, sometimes Elrod, Magoo, and Heathcliff, and of course little Gracie, Lily see you on the next video. Take care out there. Stay safe. And God bless you as you bless others. Goodbye for now.